Okay, so opening the stream to start having people joining the channels. Let's wait a couple of minutes. So we'll probably start 5 minutes into the hour. So we'll give 5 minutes of tolerance for people to join. So speak to you in a bit. I see some more people joining the meetup. So just giving a heads up that we are giving 4 more minutes to wait for more people to join. So let's just wait a bit longer, and soon we'll start and go through the release notes. I'll be sharing the link on the chat, so you can also follow them if you like. So you have it. I think we probably are good to start. I see the number pretty much stable. So, first of all, thanks for having you here. We are here for the version 142 release notes. So I shared it on the chat. So hope you found it. Let me share my screen so I can guide you through the release notes. As usual, we start just briefly with a brief note on the growth. So we are heavily growing on stars. Just out of curiosity, we are even closer to be the second most star project on Cloud Native Foundation. So that's a good thing and motivating thing for us. We are also increasing our Docker. We're seeing an increase on our Docker hub pools, running at around 200 plus K per day. So it's really awesome. So keep up showing your love and motivating us to keep doing our job and making Netdata what it is becoming. Going to the release highlights. One of the main things or the main features that we released that we have been speaking about it on the office hours is the integrations marketplace. So now in Netdata, you are able to access a repository, let's say, of all the integrations that we have available with Netdata. You can go from the deploy integration, so understanding where you can deploy Netdata agents and where all the instructions to manage that, and then through data collection, exporters, and notifications. You'll find most complete details, let's say, on data collection, because we cover, besides an overview, we cover the metrics that we collect on those, we cover the alerts with links to the specification of those alerts, and setup and troubleshooting instructions. So data collection is probably the most rich information that you have. This is just kind of is still on a beta because we are doing iterations and we want to keep improving this. And this is going to be a live thing. So as soon as we have more iterations being built, they will automatically appear, of course, on the marketplace. So there's a short GIF here that you can see, for example, going through a data collection, and you see the metrics, the alerts, and all those informations. But as I was saying, this is a stepping stone because our objective is to allow, because here you can centralize the information, you can grab the commands and the configurations you need to run, but the goal is to allow you to do this from the UI. So we are working already on making this possible. So when you go into one of these, let's say, data collection integrations, you should be able from the UI itself to activate that integration. You will tell the node that is running that system and where you want to activate it. So it's going to be much more simple, let's say, to manage this kind of thing. So that's going to be our goal. Of course, also a kind of an interesting note. All of these integrations have, like our documentation, kind of an edit information link. So if you see something that is missing, something that is not correct, and you want to contribute, feel free to go to that integration, open a suggestion, let's say, and of course we'll review it and integrate into our let's say database. So this is, as I said, a living thing, and the OP community can also contribute to make this better. Yeah. So that's the integrations. The next one, and it's an interesting thing, we did an integration for, it's called integration for a new function. So if you go to the functions tab on your Netdata UI, you, besides the process function that was there from the first release, we now have what we call the systemd journal. So through the UI, you can query your agent to grab the log, let's say, of systemd. So you can use even the datetime picker to navigate and say what time frame you want to collect the data from. Of course, you have a lot of filters that you can use to better digest the information that you're seeing. And as you can see, this is kind of also a stepping stone into providing some log information into Netdata. So through functions, we want to provide access to these kind of logs. We are thinking about other opportunities and other kind of integrations through logs. So this is again another stepping stone into trying to bring more logs and more, let's say, more information from logs to your UI. So through the UI, you should be able to reach that information. There's some important notes here. So functions are available when you're signed in to Netdata and the agent is claimed. Why is this? Because some of these functions have some sensitive or private information, and we want to make sure not when for example, the agent, the URL is open, not everybody can access this kind of information. So you need to authenticate yourself. You need to have a node claim to cloud to kind of authorize the execution of these functions. And another one, this is only available for now on the case of the agent, when the agents are installed from source. So with native package on these Linux distributions. On static builds and on Docker containers, this is not yet available. We are working again to make this also available on those, but just be aware that this is not available in all of them. So just giving a brief pause to see if there's any comment or any question or anything. Seems everything's okay, and you guys are managing the chat, so it's cool. Thanks, Satya. So the next one is the claiming from the UI. So as you know, the claiming of a node was through the kickstart script, where you pass the parameters to kind of tell the room and the space and all that information. But now we want to make it simpler for you to connect an agent. Let's say you have an agent installed in a machine and you just want to connect it to cloud. So you have now a button on top that opens this model where you identify the space and the room where you want to connect the node. But still, we require you to get some information from the node. So you will run a command to grab a random generated number by the agent. And the goal of this is to make sure you have admin access to that node. So we still need to validate that you have those kind of permissions. So you cannot just kind of connect the node without getting something from the node itself. So that's kind of an example of copying that command from the script we give you the command to run. Just copy it, and then it's connected to cloud. So we are, again, also trying to make it more simple for you to be able to do these kind of steps. So yeah, that's it on this. I think we also briefly demoed this on a previous Netdata office hours. So it's finally released, let's say. Another interesting thing is the AR button. So if you see our table of contents, on the top of the table of content, you have an AR percentage button. So what this does, it's calling our metric rating engine, let's say. So scoring engine. What it does, it will run through your metrics and get the percentage of these anomaly rates that you have. It will display those anomaly rates on the menus, as you will see here on the GIF. So it will show you where there's some kind of anomaly identified. And then, of course, you can drill down and go to the details of the section, to the specific chart. And then using the anomaly rate ribbon that is on top of the chart, you can easily spot where the place of the anomalies occurred. So this is another way for you to kind of we try to easily point you to some possible issue or something that you need to look at when you're on your dashboard and you want to troubleshoot or try to understand if everything is okay. This, again, is another stepping stone. We are having some discussions and some ways to improve even our Home tab section on cloud, where we'll try to give summaries about these things. So stay tuned, because more things around this anomaly rate and this kind of digest of information will be coming up soon. So I think in terms of highlights, that's the last. Then we go into, of course, acknowledgments and contributions that we have for people that made any kind of help on our project, and of course the naming of the bug fixes that were included on this release, documentation, updates, package installation. So all of these things that you can check it by yourself at your leisure. The only other point that I probably want to discuss a bit or share is about deprecation notices. So we are making some changes on some of our collectors. So apps plugin and SIGs plugin, we will change the approach how the collector is grabbing and creating, let's say, the metric. Because if you think about apps plugin, when you go to one of these charts, the apps that you get the metrics for are usually a dimension on the chart. With the work that we did for the Needle framework that you have, like the nodes, instances, labels, and dimensions and labels, we thought that it is the time to change this approach. We, instead of being a dimension on each of these charts, we'll have a proper chart. So when you see the needle framework, there's a column for instances that usually is renamed depending on what you're looking. If it's a C groups, it's going to be containers, for example. But these dimensions that were previously dimensions will become charts. So this will happen on apps plugin, on C groups plugin, and the goal is to try to standardize the way we show the data on the charts, and it will also help you better slice and dice the data and better manage, let's say, the metrics that you're viewing. Um, Another plugin or collector that is changing is on the proxy. Um, all the network stack metrics except TCP will be moved to IPv4 networking. So that's like the change that will happen. Um, and this, of course, this is to be deprecated for the next version. So the the Python D plugin for NVIDIA is going to be deprecated and replaced by the GoD NVIDIA SME. And again, the family attribute that is on the alerts domain is going to be deprecated. I know we have been speaking about this in the past, but we haven't yet been able to nail it. Even because we this release was anticipated because we got a lot of things into the agent, and we thought, let's do a final release because before this summer vacation. So this will for sure come on the next one. So um, this again, it's for you to know and to be aware that this is going to happen. I see some comments. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. We try to improve the way we organize the metrics. So even if you have suggestions and things that you think should be named or placed in different places, let us know. Of course, we are open for these suggestions. Um, then the preparation notice, it's done. So yeah, that's kind of the end of it. I'll check if there's any questions, any feedback. So let's see. Okay, seems not. Um, Again, thanks for being here. The next release is, I think we don't have yet a date defined. We were going to do one on the 6th of September, but as we anticipated this one, I'm not exactly sure if that date of 6th of September is going to be the one. As soon as we can confirm, we'll update the meetup, of course, and start posting about it. I see a question from Louis. At the moment, the functions only run on a single node. We have on our roadmap and on our backlog to allow the functions to be run for multiple nodes. Like Cloud will aggregate all of these responses and present them to you. But at the moment, yeah, it's only run one function on a given node. Yeah, as yes, Sate is also suggesting. Let me probably show the. Yeah, this was the question that Louis raised. Yeah, there's a lot of things we want to include on functions, even having a way for users to define some kind of a directory on their agent where they will put custom scripts to do some actions or some query that they want to do. So we even want to allow this kind of a customizable, let's say, execution of scripts that a user will want to run on a given node. So that's also in the plans. So yeah, I think there's interesting stuff coming ahead for functions. Cool. So if there's nothing else, I think we probably can wrap it up here, and we'll see you after this summer break. And again, thanks for being here, and see you. Still see some comments on the channel, so I won't close it yet. Yeah, I think we are safe to close it.